Tonight on News 5 Live, BNTU president accuses the Prime Minister of cowardice. A new commission tries to jumpstart trade after COVID-19. And Phase 1 vaccine recipients can now go in for the second shot. Details of these stories and more coming up in tonight's newscast.
In these challenging times, the one thing that is certain is that the Belize Bank Limited is here for you. There is nothing more important than your health and safety, and we continue to make every effort to make banking safer for you. Our staff is working around the clock to make sure you can do your banking conveniently 24/7 using our mobile banking app and online banking and keeping ATMs up and running. We value your relationship with us and are here to provide the support you need. First responders are also out there 24/7. Thank you, healthcare workers, security forces, firefighters, caregivers. You are all appreciated. Stay safe. We will get through this together. The Belize Bank, our country, your bank.
It's a fact that with Smart, you get truly unlimited everything. Only with Smart, you get unlimited data anytime. While with the other guy, it's only double data on weekends. With unlimited data every day with Smart, there's no need to wait. So, it's a fact that our unlimited plans beat the competition. Stop being measured and told when to use your data and get unlimited talk, text, and data. Experience the true unlimited plans with Smart. That's a fact. Make the switch and live smart.
As we continue to enhance customer experience, the Social Security Board is proposing the use of biometrics. Biometrics is the measurement of a person's unique physical characteristics, such as fingerprints and facial features, used to establish and verify that you are who you say you are. Biometrics will ensure services are provided to the right person at the right time, making customer transactions easier and secure. Identity management with biometrics will be easier. It allows us to quickly and accurately confirm your identity when accessing any of our services, from the moment a person is registered to the moment the payment of a benefit is made. With biometrics, fraud will be minimized by easily identifying those who pose a security risk. The enhancement of customer services to you means no more filling out of forms, no more presentation of an ID, and decreased waiting time. Your convenience and your information security is our priority. Social Security Board, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Want to leave a lasting impact when you travel? Then travel locally. Make memories to treasure for a lifetime while making a difference. Make protected areas your next travel destination. With over 25 protected areas under the APAMO umbrella, the possibilities for adventure and education are endless. You can bond with friends and family while trekking through the jungles to discover natural pools and breathtaking views. Or take that snorkeling trip to the magnificent world of coral gardens and marine life. Then camp under the stars to end off that perfect day in nature. By visiting protected areas, you are helping to preserve valuable plant and animal life. You're building local communities and you're keeping our natural and cultural heritage alive. You have that power. Travel locally and make an impact. We invite you to visit a protected area near you and discover the beauty of Belize's wild places. APAMO, the voice of Belize's protected areas.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, May 13th. I am Sabrina Daly. The small crowd of union protesters that were out today shouted no to government's proposals this afternoon before she entered today's meeting with government officials, which is ongoing up to news time. President of the Belize National Teachers Union, Elena Smith, addressed protesters. She wasted no time responding to the Prime Minister's Facebook speech on Wednesday evening, challenging him to face the crowd.
I am not going to waste any time to pitch up anything out here this afternoon. We know fully well what happened yesterday. And we know that the Prime Minister showed how coward he is by going to the media, by putting a document that should have come to the joint unions for us to be able to review and take a position on it. He chose to go to the media via his, whatever he did, his address, to say to us, this is what we are providing. Why is it that he can't do what we are doing? Why can't he face the crowd? Why can't he face the press? Why can't he have a press conference for the media to question him on why it is that he did what he did? But it seems that our Prime Minister does have some talent. He finds some from somewhere. But if it is that he truly has talent, tell him to come and face the people. And so we want to make it very clear that the party that he represents, it seems as if though they forgot where they came from and how they were formed.
President of the Public Service Gerald Henry confirmed strike actions will continue through Friday. He also addressed protesters in the Yabra community. In his remarks, he noted the fight is not over and that the unions are in it for the long haul.
This is not just a public service union matter. It is not only a BMTU issue. It is a national issue that is going to affect this entire country. So this fight is not for me. This fight is not for Sister Elena, Brother Luke, Sister Fraser, or any one of us. This fight for me is for my children, because the future is what we are fighting for here today. And these upcoming days, because this fight isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. I hope you all realize that this is the long haul. Alright, so I'm hoping that we are going to see more numbers coming out. We are the most powerful entity in this country. As you all know, the unions can bring down any government that we want. So we have to embrace that power. Embrace that power. The politicians, there are only 31 of them. There are only 31 of them. There are over 14,000 public officers. So if there's no army that will be afraid of only 31, if we have 14,000 soldiers on the other army. Understand the power that we have. The politicians can't even get paid their salaries if we public officers don't process the salary. They can't even get their allowances. They can't even get their allowances. The allowances that are close to my net salary. The allowance alone is my net salary. They can't even get that if we don't process those payments. They can't leave this country if an immigration officer does not stamp that passport.
News 5 understands that a joint protest through the streets of Belize City is being planned for Friday. Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ramon Cervantes, said today that, in his view, the unions are being unreasonable. Like his colleagues, Minister Cervantes will be taking a 15% salary cut and 50% cut in his allowances. Minister Cervantes, as area representative for Orange Walk North, says these cuts are also affecting his constituents.
As far as I know, I myself account for my money fully. You know, we have expenses, we help our communities. You know, I think that is a very narrow-minded demand from them. And I think you heard Ms. Sharon Fraser that said that she doesn't necessarily agree with that. Because, on us especially, look, they have cut our salaries, cut our allowances, and yet the number of constituents are growing. I have an 8,000 voter constituency. It's very big. But I'm not crying. I have to see how I adjust, and I work with that. I have to see how I continue serving my people with it, and I'm doing it. Just yesterday, I was in one of the villages in the north, assisting people and listening to them and seeing how best I can help, and especially in these tough times. You know, so I think they need to be more rational in their demands and that they are making, and also in the whole the whole realm of the reason for their strikes. They need to be more rational and more with their feet on the ground, more heartily.
So then you are confirming that some of your salary, some of your allowances, or probably all the allowances, go back to the constituents?
Well, yes, it goes to the constituents, Marisol. We are servants of the people, and I can't tell you, I can't say, well, how much I'll spend today or tomorrow, but look, someone calls you and she had an accident, or someone will go through a surgery, or someone needs food. You can't deny that person. You have to see how best you can help and assist.
Is that not considered a conflict of interest in a sense? Whereby you're using allowances that is meant for you to serve in your capacity as a minister, for example. You're using it to serve your constituents as your representative.
It's called achieving your goal in serving the people of Belize, the people who need the most. That is what it's called.
Just last week, Cabinet approved the reconvening of the National Trade Negotiating Commission. And by today, they were already meeting with representatives from the business sector and civil society. News 5's Paul Lopez was at the launch of the National Trade Negotiating Commission, which aims to change the trade deficit into a trade surplus.
Seated around these tables are representatives from diverse organizations, but all are invested in seeing the economy grow. Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ramon Cervantes, outlined the role of the National Trade Negotiations Commission.
The role is more of a consultative mechanism and a vehicle through we invite shareholders, stakeholders in the economy to participate in trade agreements, and we act as a facilitator, to promote our products or businesses and promote export. It is for that function. They try to make it as broad as practically possible, and there's still room. No? If we miss some sector or something, they are always welcome. The idea is to promote trade for the benefit of Belize, of Belizeans. Well, they contact the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Foreign Affairs, and we start liaising, and the Directorate General of Foreign Trade they are very knowledgeable in their area, and of course they will dialogue together with the interested parties to ensure that everything is in order and based on their knowledge of other countries and trade on a whole, and then from there carry on the process forward.
So who are the stakeholders we have here today? They're the products that we have?
Yeah, they are the business sector organizations and civil society, the Chamber of Commerce, the Poultry Association, the Belize Livestock Producers, a diverse organization representing the productive and services sector.
The end goal is economic growth as Belize faces austere times. The committee is working to realize this growth in the shortest time possible.
We are looking at an increase in economic activity, and it's export oriented.
Right.
Yeah, because we have a huge task ahead of us to bring our balance of payments, balance of trade to as close as possible to zero and then to positive. Yes.
Are there timelines we're looking at in terms of getting this trade deficit balanced?
We have to work. We have to aim to achieve our goals as early as possible, as quick as possible. We're trying to, when we hit the ground running, and we're trying to build that momentum, and so that it translates into increased economic activity.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Coming up, ASR-BSI responds to changes in sugar milling. Find out why they are becoming concerned when we come back.
The original Gallo Edam cheese is always fresh, has no oily residue, and has the perfect recipe for tropical climates like Belize. Look out for the English label and the blue rooster when you buy your Dutch cheese. Gallo, the real deal. Exclusively distributed by Santiago Castillo Limited.
Nation, rain or shine, any weather. When we go ball, we go Berger. Quality paint, no faded colors. When we go ball, we go Berger. Let your imagination run free. Any color for this place, when we say ball, that mean it don't peel. Quality in every color, lifetime guarantee. When we go ball, we go Berger. When we go ball, we go Berger. Rain or shine, any color you need. When we go ball, we go Berger.
I was 17 and in love, and I thought he loved me too. But now I know that a loving partner should not take away your choice of clothes you wear or the music you listen to. He should not take away your purse, car keys, or your phone so that when your family calls, you cannot answer. If your partner is controlling you, it is domestic violence. Call 0800 A Way Out or our cell phone number 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission in collaboration with Miss Universe Belize, with funding from the Engender and Spotlight Project.
Nestle. Start healthy, stay healthy.
One year ago, an invisible but deadly virus altered our way of life. Upon assuming my responsibilities as Minister of Home Affairs, over 190 members of the Belize Police Department had contracted the virus. And regrettably, 2 of our heroes in uniform lost the battle on the front line of this pandemic. Today, I can proudly say that there are no reported cases within our department, and this is directly attributable to the phenomenal work of the healthcare workers and the team over at the Ministry of Health and Wellness. We are in this together. I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine. This is our chance, our opportunity, our window to return to normalcy. #GetVaccinated_Belize.
It is my time
to protect your life.
Don't wait to vaccinate.
I believe in the COVID-19 vaccine.
The vaccine is the best way to protect lives.
Don't wait, vaccinate.
Don't hesitate, Belize.
Vaccinate. Be COVID-19 safe.
If you care, love them.
Protect them.
Vaccinate them.
Bees. These small insects play a vital role in the survival of the human species as they provide us with pollination services that create our natural healthy foods, medicine, and much more. Over the years, these little creatures have been under attack. Their habitats are being destroyed, their food and water sources contaminated. All over the world, their populations are drastically declining. But there is hope. You can be a part of the change that saves these amazing creatures and our well-being. Take action and be engaged by reducing the use of chemicals, planting more flowering trees in your backyards, place water containers in your gardens, and by consuming honey from your local beekeepers. As we celebrate World Bee Day 2021, let us all support the world movement to protect this important species. This message was brought to you by the Belize Marketing and Development Corporation, CARICOM Development Fund, Ministry of Agriculture, and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations.
The ongoing situation involving Santander, the Ministry of Agriculture, and the milling of excess sugarcane from the north has prompted ASR-BSI to come forward and share its position on government's decision. As we reported, Cabinet has authorized the delivery of 50,000 tons of sugarcane from farmers in Orange Walk and Corozal to be milled by Santander. According to a Cabinet brief dated April 22nd, milling the standover sugarcane will allow farmers to generate additional income. This morning, Vice President of International Relations, Mac McLaurin, spoke on behalf of ASR-BSI.
We respect the cane farmers, we respect the investments they've made, and that's why I'm scratching my head a bit to wonder why there is such a drive to get cane farmers to take their cane 140 kilometers to the west at great cost to them, rather than to bring that cane to BSI. I believe that the cabinet decision was taken for the right reasons, but with the wrong information. And And I think what's happened is that what the due process was not followed that should have been followed. We were not consulted about this decision at all, which seems to me very odd because we're the mill. You know, with all due respect, the minister is not a mill engineer, a technical expert who knows about milling and what the mill can achieve and all of these things. And so for us, you know, it was quite a shock. That it's very well established procedure for how something like this should happen, and the underlying problem with this this whole issue is the lack of management information. We don't sit still and just accept these overestimations. BSI has been looking at the cane from before the start of the crop and doing our own estimations, which are based on you know, scientifically adopted ways of looking at cane yields and what that's likely to produce for the crop.
While there is legislation that allows for ASR BSI to mill no less than 1.5 million tons of sugarcane per crop season, the miller said it would not want the issue to be resolved in the courts.
That would be a very sad affair if it had to come to that. You know, I think that we're anticipating a further discussion with the government on this. We had anticipated that certain action would be taken in advance of that, such as verification that could give us all a little bit more certainty on what numbers are being used and why. And you know, we of course will always reserve our rights, but you know, what we're hoping is that you know, basically that nobody's disadvantaged in this, and then there would be no real reason for anyone to go to court. We have commercial agreements with each of the cane farmer associations to receive all their sugar cane. And now, you know, if last thing we want, Jules, is for cane farmers to be undermined in any way. That's not what we want. We have a responsibility to our farmers, and you know, our intention, as always, is to make sure that we don't leave them economically vulnerable, and that would, I think, most certainly happen if they start taking their cane to Santander, because it costs so much money to get it there.
News 5 will have a response from the Minister of Agriculture in Friday's newscast. After the break, getting their second jab, or the first. COVID vaccinations continue countrywide. But first, here's a look at the latest COVID-19 figures.
Laying the foundation to get where we are today. Home Protector Insurance has evolved, keeping pace with an ever-changing world. Stepping into the future, changing the Belizean experience, giving you what you need, when you need it. Home Protector Insurance. If it's worth something, insure it.
Offside!
Was that a goal? Over.
Next Gen sales event are back. Sign up and save big on cable and internet service, with even more promos and discounts available at our upcoming event in your area. This month, find us in Belmopan City on May 7th and in Belize City and San Ignacio Town on May 15th. Keep following Central TV and Internet on Facebook and Instagram for more information on our sales event location and promotions.
Next Gen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Andrea Polanco, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
As one of the largest cable and internet providers in Belize, CBC strives to provide our customers with the highest standards of quality, value, and service in all aspects of cable TV and internet. Monitoring our systems closely, our technicians combine creative planning and state-of-the-art technology with years of experience and training to develop and provide the most reliable and advanced cable and internet service to exceed your expectations. For CBC and our team of talented engineers, technicians, and customer service representatives, delivering less than the very best is never an option.
Today, a drug destruction exercise was carried out in the north. The drugs were accumulated between 2010 and 2019 and were in storage. Late this evening, the government press office shared with us the destruction. Deputy Commander Dennis Lopez explains.
We destroyed a quantity of cannabis, 150,698.85 grams, cocaine, 11.6 grams, crack cocaine, 255.9 grams, 11 cannabis plant, and 500 grams of cannabis seed.
Okay. Is there a scheduled amount of time that you have between the drug destructions that you have?
Ideally, especially with found property, you would want to get rid of it as quick as possible. However, we cannot do this on our own. We have to write to the Office of the Commissioner of Police for approval and get other agencies involved to witness the process.
On Wednesday, there was a drug bust on Scissortail Street in Ladyville, for which several persons have been detained. Late this evening, the police department confirmed that a special operation team conducted an operation in Ladyville and observed two known Belize City men carrying a large black object from an orange Freightliner truck to a tan Chevrolet Trailblazer SUV. The truck was driven by an identified resident of Pachacan Village, Corozal, who was seen pushing the object from the Freightliner truck passenger door. Upon making checks and inspection, officers discovered 27 parcels of cannabis, which was equivalent to 28.6 kilograms. During the incident, at least one shot was fired by an officer during the interception of the vehicles. Police say that 3 persons are in custody pending charges. A grocer was robbed on Wednesday afternoon by a trio of thieves who entered his store in Belize City and held him up at gunpoint. Shortly before 2 o'clock, Yang Yuhuan was inside 1+1 when 3 men entered the establishment. 2 of the robbers wielded firearms while another had a knife in his possession. They proceeded to relieve the 32-year-old of an assortment of items, including electronic devices and personal documents. They also made off with an undisclosed sum of money. So far, no arrests have been made. A police investigation remains open. COVID-19 vaccinations are now entering the second round for the people who were part of Phase 1, meaning frontline healthcare workers, persons 60 and older, and those with special conditions. This is approximately 2.5 months after they received their dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. Dwayne Moody was out at vaccination centers in Belize City today and has this report.
Had a lot of people coming back for their second dose. People have been making their lines. We've been very, I feel we've been very efficient. And persons have been able to get the vaccines throughout the day. We have different sites in the Belize district that people can go to. And we have our staff at these sites helping for the flow to be very efficient and effective. And we're encouraging anyone who's due the second dose to come in to get the second dose of the vaccine.
But this second round does not prevent those who fall within the first 3 phases to the vaccination rollout from getting their first shot. On the contrary, Dr. Melissa Diaz encourages you to come out and get vaccinated.
We try to ensure that we're accessible so that we're located in different places at different times. We have offered in the Belize district for persons to come in on site. We are offering the vaccines at the clinics. We're also doing outreach to many businesses, utility companies, etc. And we're also doing mobile clinics to areas that are not accessible. And we have seen quite a significant uptake once the strategy had changed a little bit. If we just sit at the sites and wait, the uptake might not be as much. But when we go out to the businesses, when we go out to the mobiles, people come together and they do the vaccine almost in a group. So, you know, they would sit, people who were hesitant initially would sit and see their peers and colleagues getting the vaccine. And they would say, you know what, I'll go ahead and do it this time.
Some of the colleagues out today were from Gastamza, whether senior or junior staff. The company workers were motivated because of their high interaction with the public.
It is our rights to protect ourselves and our relatives and everybody else for us to be able to, well, I know it's not going to go back to normality, but we all need to contribute to our country.
Did you hesitate when coming out to get your vaccine?
No, I was prepared to do so already. Being part of a company that does daily deliveries, and we have contacts with persons every day, it does affect our lives. And yes, my invitation to everybody out there, don't be afraid. Come, get vaccinated, protect yourself, protect your loved ones, help your country.
Vine porque es un deber ciudadano estar protegido.
I came because it's a civic duty to be protected. It has been over a year and we are in this pandemic. And now the vaccine is here in country, we should take heed. I invite everybody to come and get vaccinated because if you protect yourself, I am protected and vice versa.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Viewers may recall that a few months ago, the Belize Agricultural Health Authority and the Ministry of Health and Wellness entered into an agreement to use Baja's labs for COVID-19 testing. However, since the number of active cases has dropped significantly, the agency is not currently processing any COVID-19 tests. Acting Managing Director of Baja, Francisco Gutierrez, says the lab is standing by if needed.
We did preliminary testing and it worked really well. We do have very good laboratory capacity and trained personnel. Because the demand on testing really went down due to the decrease in cases, then the ministry has been coping with that. In the interim, we're still working with the ministry to fine-tune the testing from our end. But yes, we can support if there is an incremental incidences of the disease, we can chip in. At the moment, we're not doing it. We're still waiting for a couple of reagents here and there and fine-tuning some of the tests because we have slightly different equipment. But that we can assist, yes, we are capable.
Did the ministry ever do any sort of mass testing? Did the Baja, ever do any sort of mass
testing? It was just a preliminary adjustment of the equipment to do that. But we're practically ready right now.
What's your capacity for testing?
I wouldn't be able to tell you precisely how many tests we can do per day, but certainly is going to be very beneficial and helpful to any outbreak situation that we may have in the near future.
Belizeans who plan to visit India or have their relatives or business associates come from India in the near future will have to make other plans. The government of Belize announced today there will be a temporary travel ban for people who have traveled to or originated from India and Bangladesh due to the rising numbers of persons in these countries infected with the COVID-19 virus. The decision to enact the ban was made during this week's cabinet meeting at the House of Culture. Cabinet also received an update from the ministerial consultation team on recent meetings with the joint unions. It was decided that the Prime Minister will inform the unions of government's firm position in writing. He also recorded a statement that aired on the press office's Facebook page on Wednesday evening. Cabinet has approved the enactment of a modern securities law for Belize that is consistent with international standards, approved in order to facilitate a capital market in Belize. There will also be upgrades to the National Fire Service of Belize, including infrastructural improvements in Belize City, Ladyville, Trial Farm, Independence, and Placencia. Finally, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing will begin incorporating into Belize's legislative framework standards to guide the design, planning, permitting, and construction of buildings and homes in Belize. When we return, the Football Federation of Belize introduces its lineup for the international competition. Meet the team when we return.
Smart continues to expand its internet coverage countrywide to help you live a smarter life.
Our villagers are very happy. They are pleased to know that Smart went the extra mile to put a tower in our village so that our villagers can get live stream on their TVs and they can get their kids doing their online classes. I want to say to Smart, thank you for making it possible for us to get internet in Gardenia Village. We really do appreciate it.
Smart continues to take the internet and mobile services to communities across Belize. Now save even more when you bundle your Smart broadband with Smart mobile services. Smart, bringing people together.
The contamination of water we all depend on is a very urgent issue. As Belize's popularity and industries grow, challenges increase. In this episode, we will examine the issue of water pollution in Belize. Water pollution is the contamination of water bodies, usually because of human activities. Water bodies include lagoons, rivers, aquifers, and oceans. On the marine side, the discharge of sewage and bilge water from cruise ships and other live-aboard vessels, in combination with unregulated development of coastal areas, has led to the degradation of marine ecosystems such as mangroves and coral reefs. Our inland waters are facing their own challenges. As agricultural development increases, pesticides, fertilizers, and waste products are running off into rivers. Increased river traffic from boat tours and sugar barges adds to the already stressful conditions of the freshwater ecosystems. In addition, companies that collect sewage sometimes dump the waste right into the waterways. Additionally, in densely populated areas like Belize City and Orange Walk, poor sewage designs result in the contamination of groundwater and of water bodies by both sewage and wash water. In many cases, homes and businesses dump their wastewater directly into drains, which leads to rivers and the sea. Wastewater, detergents, and petroleum collect in drains that empty into waterways, such as the New River and the Belize River. This, along with the runoff and discharges from the agricultural and industrial businesses, have been inadequately monitored and enforced. The answers to overcoming water pollution issues are fourfold: improved infrastructure, adequate treatment, increased legislation and monitoring, and of course, changing our habits for the better. While it is urgent that better management on a policy level is needed, there are a few things we can do at home to help. Ensure proper treatment systems are installed for all wastewater at your home and business. Don't dispose of oil from your automobiles or cooking and household detergents down the drain. And lastly, minimize the usage of chemicals and fertilizers and report any dumping into waterways to the Department of the Environment. The government has recognized the threat of inadequate liquid waste management and is working toward goals of reducing and reversing its effects. For more information on what's being done about water pollution and ways you can help, visit our website at doe.gov.bz. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Andrea Polanco, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
In light of this, Maya, in partnership with Caring Hands Clinic, have established testing centers in all their municipal airports. Caring Hands Antigen Test Center is operational in San Pedro, Belize City, Dangriga, Placencia, and Hopkins. These testing facilities are staffed by licensed healthcare professionals, including doctors, registered nurses, and nurse practitioners. Testing is done using Abbott rapid test devices that are FDA approved and made in the USA. The service is safe, fast, affordable, and the close proximity of the centers makes them convenient. Walk-ins are welcomed, but appointments are encouraged. If you would like to make an appointment, please feel free to do so at make your appointment, get tested, and in 15 minutes, you can get back to your vacation.
Earlier in the broadcast, we brought you some footage of union leaders this afternoon. Moments ago, News 5's Paul Lopez filed this report from the House of Culture.
Cordial meeting, going into this meeting with such tension?
Well, it has always been cordial, so it's just discussions, basically.
Sir, but the leaders are very upset with the PM's statement last night that he went ahead and preempted the meeting without even giving you guys a chance to review the letter.
Well, we got an apology for that already, so, it's that's all the nature of these things, Sometimes someone may jump the gun. Sometimes we do it as well. We may jump the gun. We try not to, but it's just the way things are. But we apologize when we realize that we make mistakes.
Process. By when do you get back to the government on accepting the proposal
or rejecting?
Yeah, well, it depends on what membership will tell us tonight, and hopefully, sometime maybe tomorrow or so we could talk to the government side and let them know what is the position of the union.
So no other meetings scheduled between the sides?
No date has been set.
So will the strikes continue even though that after tomorrow they will dock pay?
That will be dependent on what membership tells us, and we'll see where we go from there.
We heard a clear no from protesters today.
Okay, well, like I said, now we still have to present to membership. So they're saying no, but we have not been able to present to them as well as yet, because simply what Sister said just a while ago, the MPM, jumped the gun a little bit with presenting to the media, his letter. So yeah, so the membership still hasn't been updated quite as yet, on our behalf. So yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
News 5 will have a report on the outcome of the meeting in Friday's newscast. The Belize men's national selection will be participating in a regional beach soccer competition this weekend. and is heading to Costa Rica on Friday ahead of its first match with Panama. It's not a sport that has particularly taken off in the country, but FFB is doing everything it can to bring attention to beach soccer. The 12-man team has been training rigorously and is expected to perform well in the upcoming games. News 5's Isani Caetano reports.
Beach soccer may not be as popular in Belize as it is in other countries, but it has not stopped the Football Federation of Belize from fielding a team to participate in the 2021 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championship. This afternoon, FFB introduced a roster that will be competing against other regional teams in Costa Rica this weekend.
This is an important occasion. Important because we have seen that we have the talent when it comes to beach soccer, and we have an opportunity to grow the sport, to improve our players. And hopefully this experience will not motivate the players on this national team, but also motivate players that were a part of the process. A part of the process that began almost 3 months ago with individual training.
Having trained as a team as well, the delegation leaves for Alajuela on Friday. There are 12 players, including goalkeeper Ruggieri Trejo, Sean Mass, Jermaine Jones, Brandon Jones, Carlos Bent, Evan Mariano, Devani Tillett, Devin Guzman, Sean Callis, Marlon Mesa, Raymond Ramos, and Jaheim McKenzie. Belize's first game will be played against Panama.
2 teams from each group will advance to the quarterfinals, and from the quarterfinals they will go to the semifinal and the final. Our guys are well prepared, and we believe that they are capable of advancing to the quarterfinal. So we want to wish them all the best, and we want the entire country to be behind our national beach soccer team.
According to assistant coach Irving Casimiro, the past 3 weeks have seen the team training exclusively at a beach facility where players have proven themselves ready to take on the challenge ahead.
We are satisfied that they are technically, physically, and tactically prepared for the CONCACAF Championship that we'll be participating in Alajuela, Costa Rica. Our players are upbeat. They have the level of confidence that champions have, and we are in no doubt confident that they will represent Belize at the highest possible order. So I say congratulations to our players. You have certainly worked hard, you have made sacrifices, and you certainly are showing that you will be good ambassadors of the country of Belize.
The tournament runs from May 17th to the 23rd. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
Just ahead, traveling around Belize. A new campaign to get Belizean travelers to local destinations. But first, here's the weather forecast with data from the Belize Met Service.
Es un hecho. Únicamente con Smart obtienes todo realmente ilimitado. Solo con Smart obtienes datos ilimitados en cualquier momento. Mientras que con el otro proveedor solo son datos dobles los fines de semana. Con datos ilimitados todos los días no hay necesidad de esperar, así que es un hecho que nuestros planes ilimitados superan a la competencia. Por lo tanto, no permita que le digan cómo y cuándo usar sus datos. Y obtenga llamadas, mensajes de texto y datos ilimitados. Vive la verdadera experiencia de planes ilimitados con Smart. Es un hecho. Haga el cambio y viva Smart.
Today, the Belize Tourism Board officially launched its 2021 Belizean Traveler campaign to promote domestic travel across the country. Over the past year, local traveling has been the lifeblood of the tourism industry, shattered by the pandemic in early 2020. So as tourism activity rebounds, industry stakeholders are making sure that Belizeans at home take advantage of great deals and experience being Belizean travelers. News 5's director, Carla Hughesner, reports.
The Belize Tourism Board has teamed up with the Belize Hotel Association for the 2021 Belizean Traveler Campaign. But this time around, the influencers include media and TV personalities, a social media sensation, and a well-known chef. While the COVID-19 pandemic has had an impact on the tourism industry, it also highlighted the need to strengthen domestic travel.
It is imperative that we also encourage locals to enjoy our wonderful legacy. BTB's hope is that many Belizeans will have an opportunity to enjoy our diverse amenities and activities through the attractive packages being offered as a part of this year's campaign.
Domestic tourism is and should be an integral part of the plans of all industry stakeholders. The World Travel and Tourism Council 2018 publication on the impact and importance of domestic tourism highlighted that domestic tourism remains the leading form of tourism and accounted for 73% of the total tourism spend.
COVID has come to teach me that we have a beautiful country. It practically, physically closed every single border around the world, and it forced us to look within our backyard. We have the most beautiful country in the world.
News 5's own Dwayne Moody is among the 5 influencers selected to travel to the 6 regions of the country. They will document their adventures, day trips, overnight stays, horseback riding, cave tubing, and cultural immersion.
We're going to really just show people what Belize has to offer. It's just to show people that your everyday person can take these trips, and you don't need to have big bank accounts, you don't need to have big money to do it.
I get to travel in the most beautiful country in the world, and the country we're all lucky enough to call home, Belize.
I have traveled this country many times over, every district, every culture. This is my daily life. I've done it under many capacities. I was once a musician. I was, if I borrow a term from Jamaica, right, Simone's country, I was a sketel on Grigga Boys and Punta Rebels, long time ago. And now I'm a chef, and I continue to travel my country.
I was very much for it because my father, he's a tour guide, and there has definitely been the need for local and domestic tourism, being that international tourism isn't as prosperous as it was before.
My job on this campaign to visit the southeast coast and communicate with the people reading and looking at our videos, telling them my story and the journey that I had. And with any luck, we're hoping that we can get more travelers to go and experience these places so they can have stories of their own to tell and to share.
By following the influencers on their various social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as well as Belizean Travelers Facebook page, you can get information on special deals on BelizeBooking.com for resorts, hotels, and tours.
Our Belizean Traveler Facebook page and those of our influencers here will be used to promote the campaign via social posts, video diaries, and of course some fun trivia. Influencers, takeovers, and Facebook polls will also be used to further engage our audiences. Storytelling of experiences will be shared via dedicated news segments as we tap into the broadcast medium. Affordable rates will be a must for this year's campaign. For this reason, we have joined hands with key industry partners.
Carla Hughesner for News 5.
And that's the news. Following this newscast, we will be airing the 69th Miss Universe National Costume Show happening tonight at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Florida, where Miss Universe Belize Iris Salguero is participating. Don't forget that tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.